This is Joe Wayne with the Anti-COINTELPRO Show, and this is the occult. This is the esoterical side of life. This is the part of this natural world, because it's all natural. It's not really supernatural. It's all really natural, folks. It's just these truths have been hidden from us for millennia, a multitudes of millennia. And the reason these truths were hidden from us is so that the quote-unquote occult members in society, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, Council of 13, and these are all secret societies for a reason, folks. The reason that secret societies are so popular is to gather and then keep all of the secrets of power that control this world of ours within your own little circle of jerks, so to speak. So I have spent a few years, ever since I basically contracted muscular dystrophy. Well, I was diagnosed with MD in 2010 at 40 plus years old. And at that time, I was forced to slow down quite literally every facet of my life so that I could then wrap my head around this disease that just crept up on me out of nowhere. No family history whatsoever of any disease like this. I wasn't born with it, yet it's supposed to be hereditary. But I'm one of those special cases that had adult onset muscular dystrophy at the age of 40 plus years old. Well, that being said, at that time of my life, I was in the gym working out my physical body 6 to 7 days a week, 2 to 3 hours every day. My body was and is again becoming a temple. But I was forced to slow down and try to wrap my head around and try to figure out this disease, because no one that I talked to, none of my doctors, had any idea about the intricacies of muscular dystrophy or the 40 of the subset diseases that umbrella underneath the muscular dystrophy diseases of neuromuscular diseases. So that being said, that's why I initially started to really use the God-given brain of mine for its intended purposes. And that was to learn, okay, and to retain, and to not keep repeating the same old patterns that have forced me at 40 some odd years of age to contract muscular dystrophy, a disease, once again, that everything I have read is supposed to be hereditary, except for us special cases. It's already a rare disease, folks. It only affects 1 out of 100,000 people. So mine is even more rare than the typical muscular dystrophy patients that are born with the disease. That being said, so I did my work. I'm an avid researcher. I am an engineer by trade. So I have within me the passion to learn. And like a child, when I start learning something that I never knew anything about, well, I want more and more and more. So that's what I did. And that's what led me on the path to health of mind, body, and soul over the last 5, going on 6 years now. And in that search, I have not only learned more about muscular dystrophy than the majority of the neurologists or neurosurgeons in the greater Houston area, I am more well versed than most of those doctors. The only doctor that is more well versed on this disease than I am is a muscular dystrophy specialist. And she was taken aback, her and her resident, when I went in a couple of years ago, and they asked me, "So what is your problem?" And I quite confidently told them I have Pompe disease. Well, they looked at each other and they laughed. And before I could ask them, "What are you guys laughing at?" Well, the leading specialist in the city of Houston told me, "Well, we don't know how you could have figured this out. We're the only two doctors that could have figured out with any type of specificity what type of muscular dystrophy that you actually had of the 40 diseases that umbrella under the muscular dystrophy banner." So they couldn't figure out how I knew what I had. And I just told them I did the research. And they still couldn't figure out. So I told them I am an intuitive. And I'm a Gemini, born on May 30th, 1966. So if you know anything about astrology or astrotheology, just like the moon has a very deep resounding effect on our bodies, folks, the same way it has a deep resounding effect on our tides, okay? The moon does. In the same way the moon affects our bodies, that's why they call it lunacy. When people go crazy when there's a full moon, is because it actually affects your body the same way it affects our tides here on Earth. In that same way, literally every single celestial body that comes in contact with our Earth as we are following the sun around the galaxy, every single body that we come in contact, just like the moon, has an effect on our body and our world. So depending on when you were born, those celestial bodies that were in contact with our Earth at that time do indeed have an effect on your body. And that's the way that astrologists and astrotheologists can pinpoint with such specificity and certainty what type of medical issues you might have had growing up. That's how, in fact, that Sir John Dean became the most prolific astrologist in history. He was able to fight back the Spanish Armada by looking up at the stars and divining what the weather conditions were going to be for the invasion of the UK by the Spanish Armada. He then quite rightly told the Queen of England that they would not be able to invade, that there would be a storm of such magnitude that it would sink every Spanish ship, which it did. This is the power of astrotheology, folks, and this is indeed the mitigating factor. This is the reason. This is what every single Bible was based on, okay? Was based on astrotheology. So whenever they talk about the 12 disciples, well, they're talking about the 12 zodiacal signs in the heavens. And those signs, that change at 33 degrees exactly, okay? You want to know why they use the number 33, the Illuminati uses 33? It's for that very reason. It's because each zodiacal sign, I'm a Gemini, so when the Gemini transitions into a Taurus, or vice versa, at the time of transition, it is exactly 33 degrees. The reason, one of the other reasons they use the number 13 is because every one of our seasons transitions into the next season at exactly 13 weeks. So my reason behind breaking down the power of these numbers and what they mean is to give you a better understanding of the, let's say, ultra-natural reality, okay? are the primal natural reality. It's not supernatural, it's primal natural. Kind of like primal fear. When people die and they go to heaven or wherever they go, a parallel dimension, and they tell you that it was more real than this world, well, that is indeed what they're talking about, folks. So, this primal natural reality that we live in that has been hidden from us, okay, by the elite for a very specific reason, folks. These numbers that they use, these numbers like 13 and 33, and there are a lot of other numbers that they use, but these two numbers, they're what is called master numbers, folks. And years ago, and I dropped a video a couple of days ago called The Wizard, okay? And it had the music of Black Sabbath, The Wizard, to back it up. And the reason that I dropped this video was for a very specific reason, folks, okay? I'm an artist as well as a commentator, as well as a social commentator. I'm also an artist, or maybe an artist in training. I am no Da Vinci by any means. I'm a doodle artist, okay, if you want to put a name on it. But I have a source of power, so to speak, that I actually made. And the impetus behind this source of power that I made were some secrets. The secrets of the power of numbers. Not only the secret of the power of numbers, but the universal meaning of certain numbers like 13 and 33. I'm not quite sure, folks. If you know this, you're probably one of the few who know this. I'm sure you might have heard this, but I'm going to try to explain to you a little more in depth how it works. Okay, the reason that I say numbers are the universal language, okay? I'm not talking about universal to the earth. I'm talking about universal to the universe, okay? This is how most beings that are, let's say, older and wiser than us human beings, that have been around maybe millions or billions of years, and the reason that they use numbers to communicate is because everything is vibration, folks. Everything. Everything. And I'm an engineer, as I said. And that is the way that sound works. These vibrations are basically sent out. All vibrations are sent out, and they are decoded by our ear. Okay? When we hear something, we receive the vibrations. The vibrations are then turned into an electric signal that our brain can process into sound. Okay, so when I say the universal language of numbers, what I'm talking about is the effect those certain sounds have on the world around us all, okay? The seen and the unseen world, the mundane and the esoteric. Whenever you say something, say a certain number, and it sounds a certain way, well, those vibrations, because everything in life is vibration, everything. So these numbers have been given over the thousands and thousands of years. These numbers have been given specific meaning. Now, these numbers that I have on my cane that you are looking at now, folks, have very specific, very powerful meanings, okay? And they were given to me by a sage. And when I say sage, I am talking about a spiritual teacher, okay, that has spent his life or her life. In my case, it was a him that spent his life learning the secrets of this world and of this universe, or the hidden world that is behind the veil. You can call it another dimension if that sits better with you. But I'm going to go ahead, and you're looking at the numbers on my cane. So let me go ahead and give you the universal meanings behind each one of these numbers. So first, we're going to look at the number 33. It's the first number on the cane. And the 33 quite literally means truth, folks. So when you see the number 33, and you'll see it a lot. You'll see it a lot on Fox News, on CNN. You'll see it a lot in magazines. You'll see it a lot on a lot of different polls and articles, because what they are doing, and this is the reason behind the marketing ploy called the rule of three. And basically, this rule of three says that anything is more powerful, more dramatic, more scary, more exciting, whatever. It is more if you associate the number three in that scene on TV, if you associate the number three in that article. Breaking that down further, the number 33 means truth. And the reason it means truth is because of the vibration, the way that it sounds when it hits the environment after it comes out of our mouths, or even the way that our genetic structure remembers the number 33. Because even subconsciously, folks, if you don't know, you know the meaning of number three, genetically you do, because it has been proven scientifically, folks. Genes have memory. So even though we don't know, we know what it means, subconsciously we do. The second number is 15. 15 means life. 1 plus 5 equals 6. What is 6? 3 plus 3. What is 3? 33. Truth. So you have 33 as the first number on the cane. It means truth. 15 is the second number on my cane. It means life. The third number is 12. It means fulfillment. The fourth number is 14. 14 means love. The next number is 11. 11 means purity. After that, we have 99. 99 quite literally means energy. So this is why, folks, 9/11 happened, because the elite, the corrupt government officials around the world, got together, and they basically, the New World Order, wanted to get the pure energy from 9/11. Remembering that 99 means energy and 11 means purity, they wanted to get the pure energy out of all of those deaths that they caused on September 11th. The next number is 36. 36 means the way. The way spiritually is what it means, is what it was referring to. The next number is 333. And 333 literally means to awake. So if you awake at 333 or at 3:30, like I do, I wake at 3 o'clock or 3:33 every single day without a clock for a very specific reason. That's the universe waking me up, saying, "Get up, asshole. It's time to rise and shine." And when I get up, I thank the Father, and I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual person. I thank the Father for waking me up at that time every day. The next number we have is 0, and that means knowledge. When you see the 0, it means knowledge, or the circle means knowledge. The next number is 77, and it means wisdom. After that, we have 7, and it means freedom. And the next number is 70, and 70 means enlightenment. So whenever you see that triple sevens, that 777, when you're at the casinos in Vegas, well, just remember that means genetically you're seeing freedom, enlightenment, and wisdom. Or at least wisdom and freedom. You know, your wisdom to sit at that table, and your freedom you get from the money that you're going to spend that you won sitting at that table. Now, the next thing you're going to see on my cane, folks, is light bearer. Now, if you know anything about the light bearer is a phrase that was mentioned but one time, folks, in the Bible. And the reason it was mentioned once and only once is because it was not referring to the imaginary devil, you know? Or should I refer to the devil in his other name, Kronos? Or another name for the devil would be Santa Claus, Beelzebub. They're all literary names because it is a literary figure. The Satan figure, the devil, is an imaginary figure that is as made up as the Easter Bunny. So if you want to pray, go ahead and pray to the Easter Bunny. It's going to be the same thing, folks. There is a God, but the devil, the Antichrist, and Christ were literary figures. Back in the time of Jesus, folks, there was not a letter J on the planet Earth. So there could not have been a figure named Jesus, okay? There could have been Christ or Christos, but there was no Jesus on planet Earth, okay? A lot of people will try to say, well, no, we called him Yahweh. No, Yahweh is a name for God. It's not the name for Jesus. It's a Hebrew name for God. So, that being said, the next thing you will see on my cane is the Om. And that's a little 3 looking thing with the 0 attached to it, or the little circular thing with the little thing over it. That is the sound of creation. Whenever you see this, it's the visible representation for the literal sound of creation. When you see that little 3 with a little thing over it, and that's the sound of creation, the Om. Light bearer, going back to light bearer, folks, the light bearer has nothing to do, okay, when they referred to the light bearer or Lucifer, but one time in the Bible. Look it up, folks. Lucifer is not the devil. Lucifer is the light bearer, the angel of light, referring to knowledge, okay? So when they are talking about Lucifer, not talking about the imaginary devil, they are talking about a figure, an entity that its responsibility is to give the planet knowledge, okay? So to all who are seeking knowledge, well, you should probably ask Lucifer, because he's the imaginary angel that is responsible for that. You know, just like say, it's all semantics, it's all word games, it's all fear tactics, folks. You're brought up in this crazy, chaotic world, and you're programmed to fear imaginary things so that the elite who know better can control you. Okay? That is how they do this, through movies. They do this through religions. They do this in so many it's just predictive programming, another version of the same old tired predictive programming. So, the last thing you will see on my cane, folks, is, first you'll see a little eye, and that's the all-seeing eye, of course. And when I use the all-seeing eye, I use the right eye of Horus, or the right eye of Ra. And basically, when you're using the right eye, that denotes creativity. It denotes spiritualism, somebody who is very spiritual, not religious. The left eye, the Illuminati use the left eye. It's analytical, it's science, it's manipulation. The right eye is just the opposite. So that's why I use the right eye of Horus or Ra on the cane. The final thing you will see on the cane is the number 13. Again, 13, the reason it has been used so prolifically in history is because the actual meaning behind the number. The actual meaning behind the number 13, folks, is perfection. Just like in the Bible, you have the 12 disciples and the imaginary Jesus, which made 13. Well, the number 13 means perfection for a reason because of the universal meaning behind the sound of that number when it enters our auditory realm or our visual realm for that matter. Because, like I said, genes have memory, and your genes remember these numbers and the meanings behind these numbers, even if you don't. Well, now that we have broken down all of that, I want to explain to you folks the I have no other descriptive terminology to use, but is magical. You folks know, if you're longtime viewers of this broadcast, you know that I have muscular dystrophy. Of course, once again, I was diagnosed in 2010. This is a disease which leaves you basically with no energy at all because you're missing an enzyme, the enzyme that actually is in charge of turning glucose that is in food into glycogen that our body uses for energy. Well, that enzyme is missing all of a sudden out of my body, so I have no energy. I get spasms in every single muscle in my body. Well, that being said, and I'm not sure if you know anything about orgonite therapies. They have been used since I think the 1920s or so. It was actually made illegal because of the positive effects that it had, and the government could not control this. And it would have taken the medical industry, offline for the planet Earth. We would have had no need for all of these pharmaceutical companies and the poisons that they're currently pushing on us, and the marketing that they are using to do this that is corrupting everybody's minds, okay? We wouldn't have any need for any of that if they would have continued to research and not make orgonite therapy illegal back in I believe it was the 20s. Now, don't quote me on that because I'm not completely sure. I'm going off memory here. But that being said, along with the numbers in my cane, folks, on the other side of the 13, you will see the lion. And the lion is there for a very specific reason. Number one, I see myself as a lion, and I always have. A warrior for good, okay? And this lion is a very special lion. It's 2 ounces of 0.999 fine silver. Okay, that coupled with the rock that is, it's a gold colored rock, but in actuality, what it is a 250 million year old Himalayan saltstone with 84 minerals that your body needs. Not man-made, man-manipulated minerals like fluoride. Fluoride, the natural form of fluoride, is actually good for your body, and your body needs it. I think it may be called fluorine. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that again. But fluoride, the man-made fluoride that they put in your waters, is so bad that they had a spill at the Houston water plant of fluoride. It quite literally, folks, burnt a hole right through, feet of concrete, okay? And we're drinking that shit. Natural versions of all these things that men have manipulated and destroyed so that they can control and patent, for the pharmaceutical companies, those are poison. This Himalayan saltstone, and you should be eating Himalayan salt every day on everything. Regular salt, yes, it's bad for you because it's what? Sodium chloride. Man-made sodium chloride poison. So yes, man-made table salt with one ingredient, sodium chloride, is bad. Himalayan salt is very good for you. And the way Himalayan salt is basically made is ancient seas that are dried up, and all of those crustaceans fall to the bottom of the seafloor and are dried up over millions of years, and then they turn into salt for our body. So it's basically a 250 million year old recycling job for the planet and our bodies if we're smart enough to utilize it. That being said, folks, this cane, and if you know anything about how organite is made, you will know that this cane is one ginormous mobile organite power station. And once I put the finishing touches of the 2-ounce silver piece in the handle a couple of weeks ago, I started getting insights out of nowhere. And the one insight that I had that has made the most difference to my physical well-being over the last couple of weeks is I figured out the only thing, if you're a muscular dystrophy sufferer, you will know this. There's no medicine, there's no cure. The only thing that you can do is to keep a constant source of complex carbs in your system so that you don't lock up, your muscles don't lock up, and you don't spasm everywhere in every muscle in your body. So the only thing you can do other than that is an enzyme replacement therapy. With that therapy, you have to go in literally every 2 weeks to the hospital and get an IV for a couple of hours. And you have to do this every 2 weeks. But I have figured out a way to do the same thing, quite literally, to replace the enzyme in my body using over-the-counter medication. Now, I believe that I was directed to the number one way to manage your muscular dystrophy and to get back your energy. Okay? Number one way. And if you send me a message, I will be more than happy to give you the dosage that I use that you might want to try, or if you're smaller, you might want to lower it. If you're bigger, you might want to raise it a little bit. But if you send me an email message, if you're an MD sufferer, I will send you the dosage of these supplements that I can take, and I can guarantee you, folks, if they had such an awesome effect on me, and they did, then they will on you, folks. But that being said, that's why, and I'm going to bring this, I know this is a long video, folks, and I'm going to bring it to a close, but that is why I made the video about the cane, is because I am so excited about the change, the physical change, the mental change that it has had on my body, folks. Not only the cane, but the therapies that I'm now using to diminish the harmful effects of muscular dystrophy. And also I've had 2 major back surgeries, and I was disabled on the second back surgery. The first doctor butchered me so bad that I couldn't walk. Had to get 2 more surgeries just to be able to walk again. And now, folks, after the second surgery, I contracted muscular dystrophy. Now, folks, 6 years down the road, 10 years down the road from the first surgery, it's a miracle. It's nothing short of a miracle. And if you want to, go ahead and pan this off to some esoterical new age moron, then go right ahead. But if you're serious about making a drastic change in your life, then you will do what I have done. You will research and digest everything you can get your hands on. And you will try any and everything like I have until you find the best solution for yourself, which I have. And this solution, I also am about to go live with my new e-store called InstinctForSurvival.com, and I will be selling my colloidal silver on that e-store. I'm just wrapping up the finishing touches on the shipping and the packaging of the product, and then I will be going live with the site and other things as well that have helped me become, after 10 years of suffering with pain every single day of my life, folks. I mean, severe pain. But I don't complain. I'm not one of those guys. I have a high tolerance for pain. But even though the pain that I was going through every day was, driving me insane little by little. The chronic pain and on the daily rate, lack of sleep because I was always waking up with spasms. Okay? Not gone completely, but gone by about 90%. Gone is the lack of energy that I had by about 80%. Now, I have to manage this, and I have to keep walking with this mobile power station that I have made. And it's not just the organite metals and the Himalayan salt that is contained in this cane. Basically, it's the numbers as well and the powers that these numbers have. Okay? It's everything collectively that I have learned, that I have focused on my cane. And this cane is no regular cane, folks. I built this thing from ground up. I got the cane from an older lady who's passed away now, but it was her husband's cane, and it was made in 1966, May of 1966, coincidentally the month and year that I was born. So, this cane from the beginning held some symbolic significance to myself, and now it holds some very real world physical difference and power, spiritual power and positivity that it has helped me achieve in my life. And if you know anything about martial arts or anything, you know how powerful focusing your chi is, okay? You know how powerful focusing all your energy in your body to one specific point and what that can do. And when you express that outwardly, as I have with this cane, well, then look out, because you're going to have pure fireworks of the most positive manner. Well, this is Joe Wayne with the Anti-COINTELPRO Show. I hope that this long video, it's one of my longest lately that I've had in a long while, but I had an epiphany and I had to share it with you guys. I hope you have sat through most of it. And if you haven't, I hope that you'll rewatch it, and whenever you do have the time to sit through it, because I really do believe that, as these ideas and theories may seem airy and fairy to you, they did to me at first as well. But as I started utilizing the esoterical and occult hidden therapies, as I started using the hidden knowledge that has been hidden from the world, so that the elite can continue to control us and take our power away from us, well, when you start using your brain in conjunction with your soul, your true self that has been going around this trip for many, many, many moons, life after life after life. The physical vessel that we are in is nothing but that, a physical vessel for our true self that powers everything externally, everything within our body, everything within our mind is powered by a timeless, all-powerful spiritual being. That if you know anything about thermodynamics, folks, the first law of thermodynamics, energy can never be destroyed. It can only be transferred from one state to another. So with that, I am going to close, and I'm sure a lot of you are going, man, about time. I'm going to close and say namaste to all of the people who have sat through this long video. But once again, I felt that it was needed. I won't presume to, I won't presume to make another video with this length. I won't presume to make another video for a while of this length because, let's face it, most folks have the attention span of a goldfish, or actually the goldfish have a longer attention span, scientifically speaking, than most folks. I hope you're different. I hope that I can think of you as one of us, one of the awakened, one of the enlightened, one of the people who have broke out of our predictive programming and have taken back our power, have taken back our power and our power to control our own lives. This is Joe Wayne with the Anti-COINTELPRO Show. Good day.